Parsons.
Present.
Commissioner.
Here.
We have a quorum, Your Honor.
Pledge of Allegiance. Invocation. Pastor.
Mayor, Commissioners, half of the ministry, if all of us would just bow our head in reverence to the Lord and let us pray together. Father God, we're so thankful for the moisture. And Father God, I thank you for the privilege to come and to pray for our mayor, vice mayor, the commissioners, the city manager, and the staff. In this time, and I lift them to you also. Father God, I especially pray for our police and law enforcement during this time. And Father God, I think of our fire department, our first responders, Lord. I pray that you would be with them also. For community support, for wisdom, for reassurances, all of you work together to accomplish your duties in serving our city, community. And I pray for each one of you with thankfulness for sharing your time, your wisdom, and having a heart of serviture in serving our city and the community and everyone within our community. And once again, I pray for community support as each one of you serve to the best of your ability. And tonight, Father God, I think of the decisions that have to be made, and I pray and I ask that during these tough decisions, Lord, that they would seek your wisdom. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 1, awards, proclamations.
Commissioner. We'd like to introduce Jane Wire. She is the new City of Liberal receptionist for City Hall. To be answering all the 2201, which was the main city. So, Jane Wire. Welcome.
Welcome.
The 27 buttons. Now you call the city and you get a human go through all that. So we're glad she joined us.
Agenda.
I'll make a motion, we approve the agenda as printed.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Vasquez and a second by Commissioner Warren. Any further discussion? All in favor? Passes 5-0. Moving on to item number 3, the minutes.
Motion, we approve the May 23rd, 2023 regular meeting minutes.
Second by Commissioner Warren. Any further discussion? All in favor? 5-0. Motion passes. Item. Any items from citizens? Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 5.
It's moving, so we don't want to take up too much of your time, but we just want to come and share with you that we are planning the I just want to introduce some of the folks that we have with our committee, the 4th of July Fuller, Candy Garcia, and Claudia Garcia, who is not here. She's on vacation, or she would be. Fourth of July is on a Tuesday this year, and so our plans are to stage the parade at 8:30 in the morning, start the parade at 9:30 from the tracks north to Light Park, and then the Light Park events will start after that. And we plan on shutting it down to start closing down to 2 o'clock. So at 3 o'clock, people can get over to the events that will take place. Works that follow. So we're trying to fill in that day. The theme is We the People. We believe in a is what we're going with. Already getting a lot of contacts for floats for people who want to have at the park, and so we feel pretty good about it, but we want to make sure that everything staff and I think Brad we did yep. He's nodding and so if you have any questions or anything else you need from us, but we certainly hope we can continue with this celebration.
There's a lot of detail and hard work. Organizing this festival, which I know a lot of people are really looking forward to it.
Thank you. And these people have a heart for the community and a heart for this country. And so I was so glad that everyone was kind of thinking. And we had 50 floats last year in the first year. And so we hope to do that well or better this year, and more booths. Last year we intentionally held the number down so that we knew what we were doing and we didn't bite off more than we could chew. And I think that came out okay. And so I think they're opening the door a little bit more this year. Miss Little Firecracker competition for the little girls who, and I think in our community we got a lot of little firecrackers, so we're going to see them come out. And we look forward to that. So we thank you for your help and for allowing us to use the park and Main Street on the 4th of July to put on this event.
No.
Staff, my peers.
Free. There's no cost to be in the parade. There's no cost to come out to the park. I mean, if you want to buy something from one of the booths or from food, that'll have a cost, but there's no cost to participate. It's open to everybody.
And has everything been approved that needed to be approved? And we don't have to waive anything else on there?
No.
Wonderful. Well,
Thank you,
guys
guys.
very much.
Yeah, thank you.
My golf cart has a windshield, so we're good.
We'll be there eventually. Any other items from groups? Okay. Seeing none, we will. Airport leases on it.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as printed.
I'll second that.
A motion by Commissioner Lindenbroker and a second by Vice Mayor Parsons. Any further discussion? All in favor? 5-0, motion passes. Moving on to item number 7, the Community Multi-Generational Vacation. Susan?
Yes, hi, my name is Susan Lequago, so I'm here to request a waiver to use Mary Frame Park. Actually, I've got support here, so I shouldn't be as nervous as I'm appearing to be, but the Presbyterian Church and to to do a multi-generational vacation Bible. And we would like to use Mary Frame Park on Saturday, July 22nd. If we could have a waiver of the fee. There will be obviously no cost to come to the Vacation Bible School, and we'll provide. This is on multi-generational, meaning it's not just for children, it's for all. Do you have any questions? Thank you.
Will this be just for the park or the building as well?
See, okay, the building, please. Yes.
And then just the building or the park?
Charge for the parking is just like the other, it's open to the public, right? So if there's people there. So
Has the date
Yeah.
been?
I called and it was available, and she let me know to come here tonight. I said, I am. So yes, it's available. July 22nd.
For Mary Frame Park building on July 22nd for the Community Multi-Generational Vacation Bible School Group.
Motion by Commissioner Warren and a second by Commissioner Vasquez. Any?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Get to sit down yet,
Oh,
because
oh yes. Moving on to item number 8.
yes, and hopefully I'll be. So for okay, nature is good. Did you
Housing?
Yes, for the El Heat mission for today, and going to have what's called an El Heat summer tour. El Heat, as you saw on the flyer, means local health equity act. A group of people, which is everybody is invited to help make where we live, Seward County, if everybody needs one, to make Seward County the best place to hopefully live and raise your family. And anyway, one of the needs that has come up as we meet every month is housing. And so we have put together, with this whole team, we've put together what we're calling the summer tour to help people to find their dream home. On June 22nd, July 27th, and August 17th, in partnership with Plain State Bank and the Coalition for Families, will offer home buying tips and help people discuss financial. And so again, please, we would like to request of the fee for the park buildings at Maharan Park on July 27th, and that's it, because the third one is going to be at the church, at Cross Point Church.
That one, it's not going to be so much a question regarding the building, has somebody from the city been reached out to so that offers?
I didn't know that was a, I didn't even know that was a possibility. It's not too late at all.
Okay, that'd be that.
Okay. What was your name? In blue?
Susan.
Jane, be calling you tomorrow.
For your info.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, no.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we waive the fee for Liberal Area Coalition for Families event on July 22nd for Mehuron. And
It's
June
June
22nd.
22nd.
Okay, sorry.
June 22nd.
Back up.
Yeah, June
22nd. For Blue Bonnet, from 5:30 to 7:30.
By Vice Mayor Parsons. Any further discussion? Vote. Motion passes.
Thank you so.
Community movie rental fee waiver request. Oh, this one's not Susan's.
A few weeks ago, we were privileged here in Liberal to have the movie, The Jesus Revolution, some time. As a matter of fact, it was held over 4 weeks, and I went 7, and I filled the last seat, so the theater was completely full that night also. So since that time, Faith Tabernacle, Rex Petty and myself, Central Christian Church, gotten together and wanted to bring the movie back to Liberal again, and in hopes that we could show it at the pavilion in Light Park. This flyer I just printed tonight, it's just a temporary, if it does work out, for us to have it. But because of the cost of just the license for the movie is almost $500, we're looking to save money wherever we can so that we can still bring it to town. We hope to have free refreshments, popcorn and soda, and have a giant screen. Rex's church is set up out there before. Fantastic sound system. And so I guess I'm here this evening to ask if you might waive that rental fee for the pavilion, for Light Park in that one area, so that we can show the movie. And if you talk real loud.
Did you make sure the date was open? Did you call the rec center and
The days that it's open?
did you call and make sure that the pavilion
Yes.
was not rented?
We called on the 28th. And then there has been in the past, because both of our churches, our church particularly at Central, we play a movie every month for the community. So we're prepared. So if there's a rain out, we're going to have it on the poster that you can come to either one of our churches and watch the movie there if it rains out in the park. So either way it goes, we'll be able to show it.
I'll make a motion. 28th on behalf of Faith Tabernacle and Central Christian Church.
A second.
All right, I have a motion by. Any further discussion? Motion
Okay,
passes.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Way lighting project.
date is the movie?
Okay, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. Tonight I come to you for our next project to get it started. Incandescent to LED. We're also going to change, add a building to house all the regulators that run all the lighting on the airport. In May, the first part of May, as you can see in your packet, was low bid. It's going to be about $760,000. So, with the FAA saying our economic development is doing a lot better than it had been in the past, they bumped us up to 10% instead of the 5%. My recommendation is we accept the bid from Atlas Electric and allow the mayor, city manager, or the to this project. To also recommend that the commission approve total project cost or $80,000, which would be it'll probably start in October if we can get all the paperwork back.
How long will it take to complete?
About 45 days. So warmers at each light and then changing the light itself. The building, actually, the main runway will take the longest. That'll actually, due to them being in right next to the runway, and there's 200 lights going down each side of the runway. So it'll take, that part will take a while. And then the building will.
Well, I certainly like that. I know we got bumped up to 10%, which I guess is good and bad. It means that we're doing well, but anytime we can get 90 cents on the dollar to make those kind of improvements, which should last, I would assume, for years.
Oh, it'll last a lot longer because
Yeah.
we change light bulbs about once.
Right.
So, and those are not.
Well, they
getting
use
cheaper.
less electricity and they last a
Yeah.
lot longer, and
Yes.
in the
Yeah.
long run,
And the better than what it is now.
yeah.
So,
Will this have any effect on lights going in and out?
for the 30 days, it
30
will,
days.
just for SkyWest. We will have to shut them down for 30 days due to them not being able, they can land on the crosswind runway, but they can't taxi because, but everybody else will still be able to use the airport. So, time where there's not as many people flying in and out. Difficult because our numbers have really increased this year. So.
Have you spoken with SkyWest
Yes,
about
they
this?
know about it.
Okay.
So,
More than anything, they'll just fly to Dodge and skip Liberal
Yes.
during that month period?
yep,
Okay, so it's not a huge variation for them anyway?
no, it won't be.
Okay. Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we accept the bid from Atlas Electric, and approve the total not to exceed 800,000, with the city's portion not to exceed 80,000, and also allow the mayor, city manager, airport manager to sign all documents.
I'll second that.
And a second by Vice Mayor Parsons. Any further discussion? 5-0, motion passes.
Hey,
Thank you,
Brian,
Brian.
give them a real quick rundown on what that press conference is tomorrow. I sent you all, but just kind of give them a
Tomorrow,
quick.
we're doing a press conference. I think it's us and 5. It's more just for SkyWest to kind of get everybody knowing what's going on with what's happening between them and the DOT, with the going back and forth. It'll be 30 minutes on Zoom, so we'll see what happens. So we do have a lot of letters going to the DOT from senators also to try to help them move their decision along a lot faster. So, but yeah, it'll be over Zoom at 9:30 tomorrow. So.
And the information's in your city emails. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
The radiant heaters for station number 2 engine room.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. The proposal you have in front of you from me is one of the before the first of the year. We kind of waited till summer when we could shut the in-floor heat down. At the South Fire Station, it's leaked probably the life of it. They had to cut out some of the concrete when the station was built and put in new coils and patch them. So we went through a lot of antifreeze over the years, and it's caused problems with the pumps and the expansion tanks. And there are quotes in your packet. Most of those are just for equipment. We couldn't get very many people to quote the installation. We did install one ourselves at the airport station, but this is much more complex and probably needs to be done by professionals. So obviously the Weber refrigeration quote for the installed price would be the one we'd choose to go with. It's for 2 70-foot heaters to heat. There are 2 small associated projects that go with it to run gas line and electricity to both burner heads. So tried to estimate that in addition to the quoted price from Weber. Now, saying that this is coming from the ARPA funding, when we originally estimated this, we estimated it $15,000. But the good news is it's considerably over that. The good news is cap $1,800 under what we had budgeted. So that will easily offset the additional cost. And then also from way back in 2020, when I started thinking about this project, we had a donor call and offer to give us a $1,000 donation, but they wanted to know what we would use it for. So I said, well, we'll earmark that for the heater project. So we've got $1,000 sitting there for that too. And we owe it to them to use it for what we promised that we would. So that's pretty much the gist of it. It would complete another building upgrade. You can almost hear the energy savings when you turn them on because they turn night into day inside of there.
So this basically is everything, installation and equipment, right?
Yeah, this should take care of the installation of the overhead heaters, the gas line, and the electric.
Gas lines to,
Yeah, bringing the gas lines up to the burner heads.
I'll make a motion to accept the Weber refrigeration quote to install 2 natural gas tube heaters. Also to authorize the necessary additional electrical and natural gas installations to complete the project in an amount not to exceed $20,000. Be paid for with funds from ARPA and earmark.
A motion by Vice Mayor Parsons and a second by Commissioner Lindenbroker. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? 5-0, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief. Moving on to item number 12, the animal control transports.
I don't following up with.
Yeah, so this will be the they briefed you on purchasing the van, using stipends to fund the transport of can't help with anymore, so
And it's kind of to supplement them, help them. Ryan stepped down, so Steve Leet has taken back over. And I know Steve's struggling to keep up. It's a lot. Trying to do what we can to help get as many animals.
okay, and talk to them about the ordinance change that we discussed and the numbers of that.
So currently, we do have an ordinance that when you adopt a dog, I apologize, you have 6 months to alter them. Because we don't have a vet that works with us to do that before adoption, the state voucher system, you pay us a deposit of $150. We reimburse you the $150 when you bring back the proof that you had it done. Currently there is no repercussion for not altering an adopted animal. You're not getting it done, and then that's increasing puppies and kittens, litters all over town. I would like us to be able to update the ordinance so that there is a repercussion. You do need to go in front of a judge and explain why you chose not to do that. Completely up to them, but I think they should have to explain why they chose not to.
Will not, she's already overloaded, this
I have
week.
one open kennel right now.
Yeah, out of, how many?
6.
Are we not able to house, meet our housing need? We're not able to meet our transport needs, and adoptions that are taking place aren't following through on their end, which is perpetuating the problem. So either we've got to increase our enforcement, or we've got to double our euthanasias, maybe triple.
Probably 14 next week that I'm gonna have to euthanize.
So, like I told you last time, it's a terrible decision you guys have to make, but it's, I mean, that's where we are.
Terrible
She's-
decisions making the
Yeah.
list on who you euthanize.
Yeah. So it's not really a nice to have, it's a, about this time last year, she was the only employee we had left at the animal shelter, so that was a calling all cars moment, and we're almost at another calling all cars moment. So either we spend the 52,000 and then the 17,000. Triple our euthanasians.
Last year, we were 91% save rate. I would like to be better. I don't think I can. From January 1st to May 31st, we averaged 80 we're intaking.
Wow.
85.8 animals, and all of those were vaccinating on intake. You figure I'm spending close to $15 per puppy per vaccine. Add that up. If I can get them to rescue before the 4 weeks are up, I don't have to spend that money on vaccines either. And vaccines went up. I just ordered another batches of vaccines, and that was $1,300. And that'll last me maybe a month and a half.
What does it cost us to euthanize?
Around $100 per dog, around, I think 30 to 40 per cat. And then to spay right now per dog, depending on its weight, obviously. Mostly, we have shepherds, more. The Chihuahuas, the smaller breeds, they're gonna be a little cheaper, but you're still at over $100. To do it, it would be significantly cheaper, and that's something I'm trying to figure out. Because it is a headache. I mean, that's a lot. 60 animals you're responsible for regularly. It's a lot for a vet.
I know we got, and I just, the number of animals that we're looking at transporting a month.
Hopefully, right now we're averaging, it would be close to around 50. I think we're 12 to 15. But if we have a I can get rescues to tag that many, I bet I could get us to 60 dogs a month. If we each have a built to the max.
So I do have a question, it may sound like a dumb question, but I've seen like people get rid of them on this there right now, or do we have?
Dump a dog, you can't prove who they are. If you can't abandonment, but you figure by the time you hold the dog, make a case, follow through, a rescue could have. I mean, court cases aren't quick by any means. I mean, a bite case sits at the shelter for 3 months generally, and that's vicious dogs. So if we just take it in and feed it and vaccinate it and find it a home, get it out, because it takes a lot to do an abandonment charge. You have to have proof, like video footage or something.
I've just seen that happen.
Common for
And,
her to call and they say, oh, it's fine, I'll get another dog.
well, just the other day, I get it to the family, turns out the family didn't want it anymore, so they just left it there.
Yeah, one of those things, they can go out there and issue a citation, get the dog, and they have someone that they can assess those fees later. And then it gets out there that they're actively doing that and people are reporting it, then maybe you can cut down on people doing that. Or they could just,
Like,
Which happens
I
a
just
lot.
want-
right, which then, I mean, that's another problem, but it's one that you can only combat so much. But what she's talking about too is, I've talked to her a couple times about it, we just need to amend the ordinance so penalty provision in there. Just as a consensus, is that something everybody's okay with modifying the ordinance to allow that to occur?
Yeah.
You guys okay with that?
I'm okay with that, but I wonder if rescues an animal, they don't end up getting it spayed or neutered. They're saying, well, the 150 is cheaper than taking it to the vet, getting it spayed or neutered, and, you know, you haul them into court. Does that eventually reduce the number of rescues we have?
Agreement, when they take that dog. or
I understand
cat,
that, but
they're going-
maybe less people end up doing that because they're gonna get hauled into court if they don't follow through.
Honestly, our adoptions are very minimal anymore anyway.
Really?
I mean, I'm being honest, in town, our adoption rate is really low. Most of our dogs only leave. I'll have maybe one adoption a week, if I'm lucky. Most of them
What's your percentages on people that actually do follow up and spay or neuter and get their deposit back?
In town, if they're out of town, I can't do anything about that, so I don't really follow those numbers, but in town,
Some kind of campaign that lets people know, et cetera, people are gonna think twice about just leaving their animals. I just think right now the norm is, it's just too easy to just go leave my dog. If there's literature information out there, I feel like people.
Again, continuing that, if you can find a contract that would help spay or neuter the animals now, instead of putting the weight on money back.
correct, and that is something that I've talked to, that works with the Guyman shelter, and see if we could help to get her licensed in Kansas as well, that she could, because she's amazing. Maybe help us work out a contract price of something more reasonable that we. But right now the deposit's only $150, and adoption price is $230. You have the $150, then the $15 for the rabies vaccine. Fee is only $20, but we microchip them. And then, where am I at here? 20, 30 for the microchip, 15 for the vaccine, and then the deposit. Keep the adoption rate fairly close to where it's at now. I mean, that's a big pushback already, is the it wouldn't be as bad because you don't have to pay for that on top of it, but it's finding someone to do that at a reasonable price.
'Cause I think at the end of the day, we get rid of the penalty, we lower the cost, should increase adoption. Those adoptions aren't gonna bring back more because they're already spayed and neutered.
Yeah.
But it all get affordable. But I think that's the direction I feel would to a judge. What kind of court fees are we taking?
Court costs are $80. Probably the judge would just assess a $100 fine for first. Be my guess.
So
The
I
other
say-
issue is if you spend not then adopted.
Even
You're
then,
just
we're still
adding
gonna
your
spend money to
costs.
send them out.
Huh?
Even then, we're still spending money to send them out anyway, so
Right.
this is
Or-
gonna be a process that will reduce the population of the other. And if you can get rid of them before the 4 weeks, where you don't have to do that, because they're gonna go to a rescue anyway. So,
We just keep people to keep. I have 12 of them going down my street every day. But when the animal control comes,
I just feel like if we could do some kind of campaign, like communicate out in the community.
I post it on the Liberal Animal Shelter page all the time. I don't know if you educational things. Did you know it's did you know that you can't, you know, your female dog in heat has to be in a secured location? But you can only do so much.
I'll start sharing.
Yeah, the 50,
buy the van and then the 17 of recurring cost.
yeah, we'll do it. The 17 of recurring costs, you'll do that during budget season. And it'll actually be less because we're halfway through the year, this year, but. And if you decide to do that, I would like to take that from last time, but I'll talk about ARPA for a while. We have plenty of money sitting in the community development. Animal shelter. So for tonight, you could say that an amount not to exceed 50,000, and that would get us through. That gets the van and get us through the rest of the.
I'll entertain a motion on that.
I'm just trying to decide how to word that.
Yeah.
Suggestion, because I want to make sure it's right.
Basically,
Travel costs and not to exceed
yeah.
$50,000 for
Total.
Yeah. to come out of,
That's your motion.
Second.
There you go.
does that work?
I'll fix it.
Thanks.
Okay, I have a motion by Vice Mayor Parsons and a second by Commissioner Vasquez. Any further discussion? 5-0, motion passes.
Thank you guys so much for supporting us.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
13, the RHID discussion.
Okay, so, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, RH. Something. Lots. That the city take on the RHID instead of the developer. We spend the 1.6 million and the developer family and multifamily homes on this property. He has to start developed within 36 months. Now, tonight what we're asking is for approval, which is what I just laid out, that the street and drainage, I think the cost estimates in there, the breakdown. Drainage and retention pond. And then we have a lot of work to do on the RHID side. Move forward with that, we need a approval from the commission to accept the city getting into something. We're at to us with anything else until you fix your housing problem. I just did this. It morphed into, from 2 builders into what, they have 7 different companies building in town now, so they out of doing it this way. The important thing is that we're paying $0.8 million sitting in the street drainage capital improvement account that something definite earmarked for it. So an easy kind of nerve each other, are we really going to do this? But the gridlock that we have, and these are the only multifamily houses that are on the, which are all single-family, 300,000 plus homes. We've got the one in the south that's all 250 plus, and most of our demographic can't afford to pay 250 or 350,000 for houses. I mean, that it's kind of win-win. I'll let you finish talking. It was, but we've got to get something done. And I will continue to say that every developer in America has the houses, and only one person that is doing it. So this is not something we could do for run out of money. And if we do it, position we're in, and it doesn't work, I get fired and y'all don't get reelected. But if it works, then everything is great. But there'll be no, was it trade winds? The catastrophic financial consequences that the last time we ahead of us if this doesn't work.
One of the big, when I was campaigning the first time, was that we need a population that has builders and to have large investors come in and build here. So within the last year and a half, I had spent a lot and all those different locations trying to find. Some of them, they have money. They have investors that can do most of this work. Others have, larger cities can, the developers can actually, they have more incentive to, where we could not find developers to come out here because it is not cost effective to build in Liberal. Right now, you can build in Garden the same size house, and they can sell it for $100,000 more. While their cost will remain the same, the population roughly remains the same, that builder can make $100,000 more. When you have, within an hour's reach, a market that can absorb that cost. That being said, other cities that face that same issue, that have major cities near them, in he becomes a developer and the RHID is used up by the city instead of by ourselves back those funds that we expend, depending on the project, anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million in interest that we as taxpayers, especially those properties, would be paying, because at that point, that in the RHID the developer has, they can absorb the cost of the interest. So that puts another 3 to 4 years before those properties can. Great idea. And it's a small risk right now, 1.6 million. 7 lots in a city that has very few empty lots. This because he came from a city that spent $100 million to build. Do you even know how many lots they developed?
When I left, there were still about 2,000 available.
So at this point, we're only looking at 47 lots, maybe a few more. It's not a high risk. That was dedicated from 1 cent sales tax. I definitely believe this is one of those projects where it allows us to put those properties on the tax. Because in some cases, you can go up to 20 years, so many people will never see the benefit of those properties on the tax roll. In this situation, we're looking at 5 to 6 years, maybe 7, so that is a benefit for all the entities.
Yeah, I've been part of those discussions. It's kind of a thing where, we've tried, I can't tell you, visit with developers, have them come in, and he do a development, but he only wants to do gravel streets. Well, that's what to do. So, my thinking is that if you always continue to do what you've always done, you're going to get the same results, which is he's been banging this drum for a lot of years. It's a proven concept. It works as long as we're responsible with it. We don't get too out in front of it. We do a reasonable number of lots. It's a departure for us, but it's not something that we're creating on our own. It's something that's been done and proven to work. I for one, am all for it.
Yeah, so if you approve this tonight, Lynn and I will get to work on the, Lynn will get to work on the verbiage of the contract between the developer and the city. Because we gotta have the clawback to where we get the land in the undeveloped lots. So there's some legalese to that to make sure that we actually get it and not a bank or someone else gets it if it goes into default. And the plat has to be completed before we can begin RHID. And they're still in they had the preliminary plats approved, but then they've still got some work to do. A good portion of this land is still in floodplain, and they're working with Earl's Engineering to get it out of floodplain. So he has about 12 lots that are ready to build now. As we give him a thumbs up.
If the city was to do streets and drainage, correct?
Yes, sir.
So, this vote,
That'd be a smart move. yes,
okay,
sir.
because if there's any streets going in town, I'll probably be bidding.
And really,
I'll abstain.
Yeah, and really all we're needing tonight is just if
Okay.
a majority on, that way, like Rusty said, I can and getting all the details. It's obviously not gonna happen overnight, but at least get us started so we know that you guys are willing. And there is some, like Rusty said, there's some risk there. I mean, it's not anything like what happened. Risk there if this doesn't pan out. If home million invested in those lots and there's no houses on there, so because there's no property to tax to get that money.
20 years, there's a chance we would have those houses built.
You would hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would hope what happens is you have the language in there where you get because the developer failed to follow through with his agreement, and then eventually does come in and build, and you're still getting some actual generated property taxes that you weren't getting beforehand. So, but like
And I guess the reason I was asked, I don't think it'd be appropriate for me, even though very knowledgeable, comments for or against, correct? Well, I'm not talking about something that I know about, is because it would be inappropriate.
So tonight, are we looking for a consensus or a full motion?
Just a consensus. We don't have anything in front of you that would take formal action, so
Favor? Jeff is in favor?
Favor?
I feel like a lot of the research has been done already, and in order I'm all for it. In order for us to attract new developers, industrial, basically anything, we have to combat our housing problem. So I'm
okay,
Okay,
there you go. There's our answer.
all right. We have consensus.
All right.
Well, thank you, guys. Moving forward to item number 14.
The developer, this is taking forever to get for 3 months, but we finally got the values back on the land the city owns, and Club Park, on Sunflower and Grant, and then, down by MacArthur School on Quail. So those were the two properties. And the appraisal, you can go through the 73 pages, but in short, it dollars plus $2,400 appraisal fee, and then any additional closing costs associated with the sale of the property. And since we would be selling at appraised value, there was no.
I do have another question for Lynn then, and I apologize for not doing this before the meeting. Asking you in the meeting, but so passed on these additions. They would require the developer to donate property for parks, which would be for sure the Sunflower Park with part of the addition. Are we sure that handled it on the Kraus addition? Locate the original owner. The owner donated that property for it to be used for anything but a park. To be used for something different than a park.
So,
Are you familiar with that?
sure.
Or?
Yeah, if the property is deeded to the city for the sole purpose of being, which I don't know what the deed of transfer says on this document, how the city obtained this, but I think we went through this with another, how it was deeded to the city. I think we ended up deeding that back to the.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, so if this, you're asking, Ronnie, because I don't know what the deed of transfer. This actually would be subject
and that
to
was
what
my
conditions
question,
are in there.
that footwork has been done yet, if the process is that we're certain that we're allowed to sell it.
Right, well, and the property outright in order. Only right the city has on that property, because it's gonna cause all kinds of problems for them as well.
When they do the title work, they're gonna discover. And so if they did do something here, it would be based on if.
Well, I can look at the appraisal.
I
I'd have to find it, and maybe I'm just imagining that, but.
My understanding on that Sunflower property had to be with, there was,
Yeah, it's low pressure now.
which is how those other 6 or 8 houses were able to get put on there.
Area would be a non-issue because we've got a park.
Made it as a park, and then I don't know. At some point in time, I had heard that's why it wasn't developed. Close together,
No.
but it might have been 2 developers donating of whatever they were developing, and it just happened to be the portions that they donated.
And
Yeah.
on those, and so he maybe not having.
By whoever, but I'm just saying that it would be.
Rusty, how,
Yeah. Hey, known me for about 2.5 or 3 months.
okay. This would be my suggestion if the commission feels comfortable doing this. For condition upon the land being marked the purchaser. That way we can make sure before we get too far into it with the or, yeah, we own it outright. That you're gonna develop it. And that at least gives us the ability, again, that we can do that legwork, we can tell the developer, hey, look, this is what's been approved. We've checked it out, this is what can or can't be put there. Get a contract written up and approve that to give Rusty the authority and the mayor the authority to sign off on it if all that. And address that concern, Ronnie.
Yeah, because that's, to me, that's the only way that the city ended up deeded over to the. I know that didn't happen. I
Were
mean,
you around then?
not, those are, like I said, 70s, 60s, probably 70s. All that stuff happened there, and
I know on the Sunflower one, when it was a high pressure line, there was only 3 lots available you could build on that whole section. To actually put a house on.
Yeah, and now with
Now
the
95 to 25
Yeah.
on the.
lots that were buildable on the Sunflower portion. Easement.
So we look at a motion to, Quail Court tract.
Upon the city having the ability.
Value.
Yeah, at appraised value.
Appraisal fees.
Right, and appraisal fee. Subject to clear title,
Subject to marketability for that intended use.
I have a motion. Do I hear a second? Motion by Other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes. Okay.
Commissioners, I have an update. I don't want to say the exact date, but let's just say to their availability to continue working on our job. The flooring projects for both the hallways and the gymnasium, those are, you know, the hallways they're trying to work on in the parts where they're not working on the sprinklers, so they're trying to coordinate on well, the gymnasium to get it finished. I guess the pickleball line that they originally intended on too confusing, so they decided not to. So, and that's all I have.
Anybody else?
I sent you guys can check your emails. June 20th at 8 or 11. If you guys want to check your calendars, if that doesn't work, it's next week. Let us know. We can do something the week after, but we would like to go live with everything for our July meetings.
Or 8 or 11.
8 or 11. Takes about 55 minutes, and it'll June 20th at 8 or 11 a.m. or June 22nd.
I vote on whatever day. It's a little tough.
You guys want to try for the
That's for me.
That's for me. Yeah.
we'll have it recorded, but if we could have a majority of we'll have it at City Hall, and we'll get it set up and have it.
At 11. Brian?
I'm here to give you a on the horizon very quickly. United, it was Skeety with the fire department. We are going to be getting a lot more diversions. CRJ 200s, which is what SkyWest has, or the CRJ 7 or 900, the 900, or the ERJ 140. 6 passengers. So on that note, we are working on having the process of terminal plus a parking lot. I'll hand pages are different ones. One actually has a restaurant in. These are just preliminary. What we're doing is trying to get everything ready so we can send to the FAA in October to get their radar for it, and then hopefully we could have December or January. And then possibly start construction in October of next year. It's built in already with the possibility of adding a third. So, figured I'd just give you a heads up.
Thank you.
Very exciting.
Thank you.
City staff. Okay, seeing none. Report.
Okay, June 25th, Sunday, June 25th. We will have tacos and horchata. That's what I was told that on where to get either one.
I got one.
Okay.
I'm the food expert.
Started going through our ARPA record. We kind of had a mess. A lot of the stuff wasn't coded to ARPA like it should have been. So when Scarlett ran her report, it showed that we had $1 million. So we found about 550,000 of it today that have been, the vacation buyout, the pandemic pay was taken out. Working to correct that. Anyway, so we're working. Have a work session and then a vote in the remainder of the ARPA money, but we've got enough budget room to make up for it, but it's just last summer before Scarlett got on board was bumpy and things just didn't get things didn't go in all the right holes. So we kind of got a little mess to clean up, but I'm confident we'll get that worked out. There we go. Annual employee golf tournament. We had I don't know, half a dozen or so other employees at the golf course helping. Everybody seemed to have a great time. They were very other event in the fall. One golfer up here, and he didn't show up, but you know, it was a great day for employee morale, and they were all they went all out on it. So it was a great day. IS will be here on the 27th. Chris is going to head that up because I'll be gone. But he and Tim have worked through the IT issues, and he did a video tour with me today on the second floor, kind of as an audition of that building. That is what we would hope would eventually become. Anyway, so 25th, this is way out, but our leadership speaker for coach and a motivational speaker, he's gonna, they came in and did a full day seminar. Damon's gonna do a half day. Are welcome to that, and National has agreed to partner with us again to split the cost. On the golf course. Chris and Daryl and I had talked about trying to Dorothy's house, the Air Museum, and making the kind of a destination. We went out yesterday. Members of the Men's Association like to do so. Other options and cost estimates. So this time next year, hopefully, we've got a product we have today and something that can be an actual draw into Liberal outside of just the 100 or so folks who usually come out and golf at our course. But the course has done very well the last 2 weekends. People on a Sunday, which is insane. And 60-something on Sunday or vice versa. But the tournaments are doing well. The grounds look great, so it's golf. The less of a loser we can make it money-wise, the more options we have. So very happy about all of that. And closed Juneteenth, and then I'll be gone. But
Thank you. Moving on to item number 17, items from commissioners. Start
I
with
don't
you.
have much, I guess, off on Friday, but I have this bad habit about putting work in front of play, and I just really had to work. They told me who won, that
well, so the fire department got the trophy since they didn't.
yeah.
Yeah, and they probably had questionable scoring. Just
Oh.
fire department definitely had questionable scoring, but they were there. So
That, I would say that might be something I might be interested to go to, and I guess this weekend is food trailer,
that's
is that what they're calling it?
next weekend. 4th.
Coming up pretty quick, that'll be. Like to see a lot of people show up out downtown and haven't had, they had an event, we had an event there last year, was it, or the year before? An event, but never where we shut down Main Street. Interesting to see how the turnout is. It'd be nice to get, and see how that all transpires and staff's doing and other organizations trying to offer things for our community to make it a little nicer.
Thanks everybody for putting their name in the hat to run for commissions next year, and good luck to these two.
On that, because we had over 9, the chamber should be sending stuff out to.
Or what is it?
I think it's a Tuesday.
Okay.
Sorry, I drank too much pop. I just want to say we built a big TV show called The Viewpoint. Quaid, he's a Hollywood actor and producer, which that was very exciting. America, so they highlight great places to live, work, and visit. Like, I'm still so excited about it. But we're basically going to use people to our community. We know during the that was out there that there's a lot of people looking further down Texas. So we really want to captivate on this to try to recruit more entrepreneurs and businesses to our liberal, but something that really, and I say this city, all across the US, and I just talked about what it means in liberal, about how, you know, it takes a village to raise a family, and I talked about all the awesome things, so that was exciting. Kansas Leadership Center all the time. We were selected to become a part of the, and out of all those, they last week, 3 days. So that's very exciting, and it's basically a program and how we can better provide tools for our entrepreneurs. And so other than that, just want to say thank you to everybody in the audience and people coming to our meetings. We do appreciate that. And of course, thank you to all of the staff for
How about the logo?
to my commissioners first.
Okay.
So I will talk.
The poll, there were 15 votes. A lot of people.
So, I mean, I don't know if
Yeah.
you can give an update.
No, that's fine. But anyway, I know that.
I
you-
want
you
to
had
talk
had
to
comments.
them first to see what we want to do, because something that we noticed, people were able. So, I mean, if I wanted to go in there and just click, you know, this one, I could easily give myself 100 votes. But I want to look to see how much engagement and how many people actually took this. A majority in our community. And if they decide to keep it the same, that's entirely okay. We just wanted back to you guys on that subject.
I just want to start off saying thanks to the staff. I to weeds, I can't tell you how much they have grown. I mowed my lawn the day before I left along my curb that are probably 1.5 feet tall. But what the guys are trying to stay very much appreciated. I know it's going to be a running battle as long as it keeps raining. I just want to say thank you. I think at some point we need or asked to waive for use. That we should charge a lot. We have I think our fee, it's in the ordinance, the fee ordinance. For nonprofits is who we've been waiving those. Not waive a $400 fee, but maybe we should have a fee on there that's substantially less than $400 because it's not free. You know, I'm not saying that the park building should be a profit center, but we do have some expenses involved, and so if we reduce that fee by a considerable amount, and then we at some point going, no, we don't want to waive your fee to some organization. So I just think maybe at some point we have that discussion.
And
yeah, exactly.
And we do give a lot of stuff away to people who could pay it.
Yeah.
So we can interpretation of the fee schedule. We can definitely look at some proposals and do that again.
I appreciate those folks who are willing to step up and Ron. I didn't realize it was, so I appreciate everybody who stepped up to run. And rerun.
All right, I'll be quick on this one because go out to the town hall that the county is having right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're having it at where they hold. But I just do want to thank all the city, as well as the commission, Rusty, and just the community for being food festival and everything that's going on there, just to try and make Liberal a better place, to give housing an option, and to give people more things to do. So I'm really excited in the. That being said too, thanks for putting me into a primary. I definitely enjoy extra campaigns, but you actually get to see the people and what they. So I'm excited. It's a great thing. On that part, I will go to item.
Vouchers in the amount of $789,800.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? 5-0, motion.